Welcome to Education and Safety. Today we are going to talk about hiking sticks. Today we're going to talk about the hiking sticks, and we have one right here. This one here has three coats on it, and also many glued spots. The bottom right here, and I used this one the other day to hike. Actually had a rubber tip on it, fell off because I didn't glue it on. I used wood to sandwich it in there and stuff. And what we have is going to, hopefully we'll be able to glue on here, put a little bit of extra wood in here underneath, and possibly even a little protector here. I was going to sand this down a little flatter. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. I think I might sand this flatter. Okay. Let's get started. Oh, I wanted to share with you one more thing. Now, this hiking stick is unusual, has some really great aspects. It's about maybe arm high, and right here. And what we're going to do with this one is we're going to just put a little piece of leather up at the top and onto the other ones too. I'm not going to drill a hole. I'm just going to tie it on into an area that hopefully stays on. And we'll go from there. The top has also been glued, and it's also been stained. And it's also been, I think this one also has three coats on it, 3 coats of polyurethane. And when I use 60 grit sandpaper, when I use 60 grit sandpaper, I did not sand everything to perfection, just to let you know. I did not go with like 100 grit and a 220 to make it smooth. I wanted it to have some texture to it, and looks really, really good. So, and now what we're going to do is show you another one. This one turned out real interesting. And it had some break off point up here. I let it go. Has a little rounded tip now to it, and it has some nice color texture to it. Really, really neat. I think it turned out great. It's got a little bow to it, as you can see, and we're going to put a little other strap on it somewhere in here, right in this section right here. Now this one's really interesting. This was the way it was. It broke off. I sanded it round and curved it and just made sure that everything was nice and neat on it. And it's got like a little hummingbird head on it. Okay, you could also say it could be like a crane or even a piping plover. This is like the Papa King of piping plovers. Let's just call it the piping plover master of the universe. Okay, this is the piping plover master of the universe, and it's only arm high once again, but it's real nice. And he's always watching you while you're walking, because if you go that way, it's not as comfortable. But I like it this way. This is okay if you grip it down farther, but I like it. Hey, I'll watch you and you can watch me. Pretty cool. Put a little leather strap on it maybe. I'm not sure. We'll see. 3 coats of polyurethane. All I did was wait until I could touch the polyurethane, and then just coat it again. I did not do any sanding between. The first original sanding was after I did any gluing to it. I then just used 60 grit sandpaper, and this is what I got. 3 coats. Now we have this one. This one here is about shoulder high. This one here is about shoulder high, and I did some sanding and some gluing on the top section all the way to about here. And as you can see, now I stopped sanding it, and you can see how coarse that is. Let's take a close look. Look how coarse that is. Lots of rough texture to it. Now if I wanted to, I could leave that on there, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna sand it down. But what I'm gonna do today, believe it or not, today I'm gonna just I'm gonna denature alcohol the top part and stain the top part to about right where my hand is, right here. That's what I'm gonna do. And then after I stain it, if it dries enough, I'll maybe put some polyurethane, but I prefer leaving it dry for probably 24 hours the next day, just to put the polyurethane on it. And that way it's a lot better, and I think that's really, really good. And I do not sand it after I stain it. All I do is just put the polyurethane right on. So let's get going. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a little cord. This is a 3-foot piece of cord, and I'm going to have to set this phone down, and hopefully it'll keep recording. Is right here. This is about where it would be, right about here. So I'm going to put the cord right here, wrap it. I started right in the middle, right there, wrap it, and then the back side comes to me, right here. The back side comes around just like that, and then what I'll do is I'll wrap it one more time, but before I do that I'm going to tie a knot, or a tight, let's see here, if I can get this in. You can line it up perfectly if you want to. If you wanted to, you can line it up perfectly. And then I'm going to bring it around the back side here, bring it back to the front. And this is how I would be holding it, like this, right here, or right here. If I want to slide it up, I'll slide it up a little bit. And then what I'll do is I'll make a knot here, tight, one more knot right here, and then I'll just do a knot right at the very tip, right here. I'll pull these tight and just do a figure 8. Come through the holes, and we are complete. So it's a figure 8, as you can see. And we're set. Tighten this up, just like this. And it's done. Now, you can use it this way, if you want to, or you can come down from the top and use it right here. And if you want to, you can even grab the knot itself, the entire knot. So it's like this, right here. You can grab it here. You can grab it underneath this. You can come from underneath and go here. You can go underneath and bring it up a little bit until it's taut to right there. Now there's pressure on here, okay? Those are things. Now, if you're using a rubber glove, that's even going to be better. Now, this could slide up and down because it's not glued. This is slippery, okay? So this is not a permanent thing unless you drill a hole through it. And if you drill a hole through, my recommendation, since this is about 1/4 inch, I'd go 3/8 of an inch, and I would make sure that you drill the hole. So if this was how I was going to hold it, just like this, then I would have, let's say I'm going to hold it like that. The curve is comfortable just the way I want it, just the way I have it. And it doesn't matter if it's this way or that way. I would drill the hole through this way, okay, like that, so that it comes out the side of perpendicular to where I'm coming. So I'd be coming a hole coming out this way and a hole coming out this way. And then I would do some wraps and stuff. And if you want to, at that point, now it's permanent. Now, if you want, you can get a couple pieces, tie them together, and do a whole piece going all the way down. If you come down, it's not going to move downwards. Typically, if it's going to move, it's going to move upwards and off. So if you just go, wherever you put your hole, from that point on down, you can do 1 or 2 wraps, you can do whatever you want to. And then what you can do also is just go down farther, farther, and farther. This one's completed, we're done. And the next thing we're gonna do with this one, which I hiked with the other day up Shark Fin Mountains Trail Pass, is I'm gonna put a rubber tip on it. Let me show you that. So I happen to get these. These are the small ones, which is this size right here, and which is about, I'd say, you know, it looks like probably almost like 3/4 of an inch or 7/8 of an inch, somewhere in like that, in a diameter hole. And they also have it this size, different sizes you can get. You can just go on to Scotch. And these are floor pieces, okay? And the tip that I wanted to share with you, and that's what it looks like, okay? Got these at Lowe's. I think they sell them almost anywhere for chairs. Let's just say I'm going to use this one on top of here. This is loose, okay? If this is loose like this, I'm going to use some wood, okay, dried wood, and sandwich it in there so it's good. This is the magic stuff right here, 3M weather stripping glue. And it's a black super weather strip adhesive. I highly recommend it. Let me see here. Yeah, you can get it at auto stores, you can get it at any shop. It says danger, extremely flammable, liquid and vapor. Vapors may cause flesh fire, cause eye irritation, and so forth. This product is unbelievably great. You can put any weather strip on your car and it will hold any rubber anywhere on your car. When I glue this on here, it's not coming off. And when I do glue it on, I'll actually put weather strip on here, then I'll put the actual weather strip on the bottom. I mean, this glue on the bottom is black. Then I'll put some in this way. I'll put the nickel in. I might put another nickel in if I think it's going to be good. I think one nickel's be fine. And then after that, I'll put glue in there again. I'm going to flatten this off a little bit just so it doesn't push off to the side. So I'm going to sand this down flat. The other thing I wanted to mention was one other thing, which is really, really important, is this. Anytime that you sand something, you're exposing bare wood again. Theoretically, you should seal it, let it dry for 48 hours, and so forth. The glue should hopefully seal it, we'll be fine. The hole, if you put a hole in your stick, make sure after you're all done, if you're completely done polyurethane, make sure that you put polyurethane in that hole and let it dry before you put your straps in there. So make sure you polyurethane the hole and let it dry, and make maybe 2 or 3 coats of polyurethane through that hole. So that's why you want to go with 3/8 and 1/4, because if you go 1/4 and it starts to build up too much, you might not be able to get your cord in the type of strapping that you have. Okay, just a little tip. Found a couple of dried sticks in the ground, and I'm going to use this for filler. I'll put maybe 5 around the side. That should be enough to keep it firm. Maybe 6 or 7, depends on how it is. And then we'll go from there. I'm going to glue the nickels in the bottom of each rubber tip. Once they are finished, then I'll prepare everything else to be ready to go. Now I have the glue on the bottom, and then I put a nickel with some glue on it, and then I put the nickel in the bottom, and that should do it. If I had scrap pieces of metal, I would, but I don't, so I'll have to use a nickel. All right, so what I got here is I put some glue on this right here, as you can see, around the whole thing and higher than where the rubber would be. And then after I push this into the bottom of the rubber that has glue in it, that I put glue into it, then I'll actually put some sticks around that, break them off, and then glue around the whole tire rim. Let me show you. So this is what it looks like glued around the entire rim. Okay, so I put rubber wood sticks in there and then made sure there was enough glue in there. It's all sealed so no water can get in, and that's solid. That is solid, and that'll dry up in 12 hours. It's faster than that, but that's it, and we're ready to roll. All right, so I got those 4 walking sticks completed. I got leather straps on them. Everything looks really, really good, and I have no problems with it. So now what I'll do is I'm going to denature alcohol this. I might sand it just a little bit on a few more spots, but I'm going to stop right where my pinky finger is here because that hasn't been sanded down yet and so forth. But I'm going to do that right now and denature alcohol it, and I'm going to stain it, and you'll see how it turns out. All right. The other things are pretty much good to go. Letting those glue right now. I put a little bead around the top of the bottom of the rubber thing, like for chair legs, and so that's it. I put a little bead around the bottom, and before I go to sleep tonight, I'll put one more bead on it, or tomorrow. Decide probably tonight I'll put it on, one more bead around it, and that'll be good. So this is completed, and this has the leather strap on. Everything's all done. And let me just show you how it looks, just like that. So that's pretty much how it is. You know, this I'll probably just tie this off one more time, or just leave it just as it is. And as it gets wet, it'll get tighter. All right, here we go. All right, I made the determination the temperature is dropping too fast. Once it goes below like 52 to 50 degrees, I am just going to denature alcohol this, and I'll take it on tomorrow. I'll stain it tomorrow in the daylight, and then I'll also probably, if it dries on time, the next day, then I'll put the polyurethane on, go out to the desert one more time. So we're going to call it quits and just do some denatured alcohol on this walking stick. This denatured alcohol on and clean this all up just like this, and This will clean this up really nice, and then what I'll do is I'll let this dry tomorrow, then I'll stain it, and then after I stain it, then I'll put some 24 hours later I'll put some polyurethane on it, and we'll call it quits. And that's pretty much how it goes here on the denatured alcohol. Good, use enough to get everything off, because you want to get off all the dust and all the grease. And it's 60 grit right now, that's what it's at, and that's fine. And we're rolling. Pretty neat. And this is what it looks like when it's rough. You'll see it. So thanks for joining me, and we're just going to continue on with this particular project here, and we're going to just jump right onto the staining of it, and then we're going to jump onto the polyurethane on it. There's going to be one finished video, and I'll just keep on those clips and put them together. Tons of filming, and you'll see it, and then it's be done. And then what we're going to do is some really interesting things with these walking sticks that are going to be amazing. I did 2 last year. We're going to do some really interesting things with those too, but we're taking our time. Everything has to do with patience. Everything has to do with timing, and timing is everything. So when the timing of your car is set perfect, you're getting the best gas mileage. When your timing isn't set in your car correctly, you're going to get really bad gas mileage. Your car's not going to shift correctly. Your transmission's going to stop. Your engine's going to get clogged up, and that's when timing is everything. Timing, timing, timing. So let's continue this, and we're going to jump back into the desert. See you there. And it's a black super weather strip adhesive. I highly recommend it. Let me see here. You can get it at auto stores. You can get it at any shop. It says danger, extremely flammable, liquid and vapor. Vapors may cause flesh fire, cause eye irritation, and so forth. This product is unbelievably great. You can put any weather strip on your car, and it will hold any rubber anywhere on your car. When I glue this on here, it's not coming off. And when I do glue it on, I'll actually put weather strip on here, then I'll put the actual weather strip on the bottom. I mean, this glue on the bottom is black. Then I'll put some in this way. I'll put the nickel in. I might put another nickel in if I think it's going to be good. I think 1 nickel's be fine. And then after that, I'll put glue in there again. I'm going to flatten this off a little bit just so it doesn't push off to the side. So I'm going to sand this down flat. The other thing I wanted to mention was one other thing, which is really, really important, is this. Anytime that you sand something, you're exposing bare wood again. Theoretically, you should seal it, let it dry for 48 hours, and so forth. The glue should hopefully seal it, and we'll be fine. The hole, if you put a hole in your stick, make sure after you're all done, if you're completely done polyurethane, make sure that you put polyurethane in that hole and let it dry before you put your straps in there. Recording. So all I'm going to do is right here. This is about where it would be, right about here. So I'm going to put the cord right here, wrap it. I started right in the middle, right there, wrap it.